And once he had gone through the door, he saw the error of his ways and repented. Oh yeah, completed story. There we go. Hey, it's me, PCPatientZero. I was just playing a game called Once Upon a Time, which is a really fun card game. Normally you play with other people, but I was just messing around with it by myself. You should check it out. But for now, let's talk about Shakespeare, specifically Macbeth. Okay guys, we are on to Act 5, Scene 3. We're getting near the end now. Look at that, look at that. This scene begins with Macbeth, a doctor, and some attendants, servants. They're everywhere. What did I tell you about servants? Macbeth, bring me no more reports. Let them fly all, till Birnam Wood remove to Dunsinane. I cannot tate with fear. Yeah, he's been hearing reports about this giant army coming to get him, and he's like, why do I care? Until the forest comes to the hill where I am, I got nothing to worry about. What's the boy Malcolm? Was he born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. Then fly, false thanes, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt nor shake with fear. The servant comes in. The devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced loon. Where gotst thou that goose look? Right, we'll go back a little bit. He asked about Malcolm, and he's like, is he born of a woman? Because if he is, I got nothing to worry about. He probably came out of a woman like everybody else. And then the servant comes in, and the servant looks like really scared, and apparently his face is like really white. And he has a goose look, whatever that is, probably just, it's the old-fashioned way of saying chicken, maybe. Servant, there is 10,000, Macbeth. Geese, villain? Servant, soldiers, sir. 10,000 soldiers. Macbeth, go prick thy face, and overread thy fear. Thou lily-livered boy, what soldiers, Patch? Death of thy soul. Those linen cheeks of thine are counselors to fear. What soldiers, Wayface? Just calls them a bunch of names. Servant, the English force, so please you. Macbeth, take thy face hence. I like that line. The servant leaves. And Macbeth starts calling for his, like, man-at-arms or something like that. He's not really, he's like a servant plus soldier kind of thing. Sort of maybe a squire. Whose name is Satan. But it's not spelled like the devil. Satan, I am sick at heart when I behold. Satan, I say. This push will cheer me ever or deceit me now. I have lived long enough. My way of life is fallen into the sere and yellow leaf. And that which would accompany old age, as honor, love, obedience, troops, or friends, I must not look to have. But in their stead, curses, not loud but deep, mouth honor, breath which the poor heart would fain deny and dare not. Satan! So Macbeth is kind of going, I'm kind of, I'm getting older, and I should have things that old people are supposed to have, like lots of friends and soldiers and honor, but I don't, so I'm just going to have to make do with whatever I have. And Satan comes in. What's your gracious pleasure? Macbeth, what news more? Satan, all is confirmed, my lord, which was reported. Macbeth, I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me my armor. Satan, 'tis not needed yet. Macbeth, I'll put it on. Send out more horses, scur the country round. Hang those that talk of fear, give me mine armor. And then he looks at the doctor. How does your patient, doctor? He's asking about Lady M, who's obviously still cuckoo. Doctor, not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with the thick-coming fancies that keep her from her rest. Macbeth, cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased? Pluck from the memory a rooted sorrow, raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet oblivious antidote, cleanse the stuffed blossom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart. He's like, just fix her. The doctor, therein the patient must minister to himself. Whoa. He's kind of saying, well, in the mind, if it's in your mind, you kind of have to take care of it yourself. But at the same time, he's saying, like, You are also the patient. You should minister to yourself because you're as crazy as she is. Yeah. MacBeth, who seems to have realized this because he gets pissed. Throw physic to the dogs. I'll none of it. Come, put mine armor on. Give me my staff. The attendants begin to arm him. Satan, send out. Doctor, the thanes fly from me. Come, sir, dispatch. If thou canst, doctor, cast the water of my land, find her disease, and purge it to a sound and pristine health. I would applaud thee to every echo that should applaud again. Pull it off, I say. He's referring to a piece of armor that he needs pulled off. There's a lot of, he gets a bit random in this speech. What rhubarb, senna, or other purgative drug would scour these English hence? Hearest thou of them? So he's kind of going back and forth. He's talking to the people who are putting his armor on, like Satan, and he's talking to the doctor, and he's saying, use all of the medicine that we have, all of the plants that do things. You're the doctor, go make the plants do things. And at the same time, he's like, is there any medicine that will purge the English from our land? Damn English. Doctor, I, my good lord, your royal preparation makes us hear something. MacBeth, bring it after me, referring to something, probably his sword. I will not be afraid of death and bane till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane. And then the doctor says, as an aside, were I from Dunsinane away and clear, profit again should hardly draw me here. He's like, I could get away from this place, I would not come back because we are going to die. And there you have it. That's 5-4. And the next several scenes I think are pretty short and just kind of go back and forth between the armies. We'll find out. So we might do more than one scene at a time. We'll see. But for now, this has been a PCPatientZero production. Thanks for watching. Okay guys, here's what I'm going to do. Once Upon a Time is a card game about making up stories, and usually you play it with more than one person, so there's all sorts of interesting aspects that occur. But I'm going to challenge myself and play it for you, just us. You always get an ending card. This is my ending. They ate at the feast, and it was delicious. So I'm going to try to use the 8 cards in my hand to tell you a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end that ends that way. They ate at the feast and it was delicious. Alright, are you ready? Let's see here. Once upon a time there was a prince, and he was exceedingly happy and beautiful. He was a good-looking guy, what can I say? But one day the prince was walking along down the road when he stumbled upon a fairy. Literally, he stumbled on her. He tripped and landed on a fairy. And she was really, really mad at him. So she said, you cannot go back home to your castle until you have completed a journey. So the prince said, well, I really want to go home to my castle because I kind of like it there. So I will complete this journey. And he did. He tried extremely hard. He was a very noble prince. And although he was happy and beautiful, not a lot of people were eager to help him because, you know, he's a prince. What kind of help does he need? They're all peasants. Along the way, however, he came across, of course, because he's a prince, a damsel in distress. She is probably locked up somewhere, either a tower or a basement or, you know, on a ship. And he heroically rescued her because, you know, that's what you do when you're a prince. And he thought that maybe now he was complete. His journey was complete. He'd rescued a girl after all. But he tried to go back to the castle and he still couldn't get in. Now he was getting upset. He's like, all right, fairy, I have completed my journey. I saved a girl. That's what you do. So he took out his sword. You see the sword? So he took out his sword and he hacked away at the gate of his castle. And it turned out that the gate was pretty much just locked. So he just hacked through the door and got in. And when he got in, he discovered that everybody that, while he had been gone for this great long journey, to everyone else it was just like a little short time had passed. And they were all like, why are you so upset? And where'd you get the hot babe? So they decided to throw him a giant feast anyway, because apparently he'd gone on some sort of quest, and he was a prince, so if he said he'd been on a quest, you just nodded and you threw him a feast. And so they ate at the feast, and it was delicious. And that is your story. I hope you enjoyed it.